And finally, Prizefighter last Saturday at York Hall was the best yet. So many twists and turns and genuine seat-of-your-pants moments. Savage and beautiful all in one. There will be more Prizefighters next year. And to talk about Prizefighters to come and those just gone, I'm delighted to say I'm joined by Eddie Hearn. Good evening, Eddie.
Hi, Steve. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, fantastic. Eddie, I've had a couple of emails and texts here today. People saying, what about a really bizarre heavyweight prize fighter where you get guys like Hasim Rahman, Tyson Fury, and that MMA guy, Kimbo Slice, and another one has said, what about one where it's Britain and Ireland against the Americans? Eddie, could we see these next year?
All right, keep the ideas coming, please. I mean, we're looking at all kinds of options at the moment, and talk about MMA. Ray Mercer was actually on the list for the heavyweights.
That's interesting.
We struggled to get him by from the board. But, you know, Kimbo Slice, you know, all these kind of people. We're speaking to a very interesting potential participant for the light heavyweights prize fighter, which we're about to announce next week on January the 29th.
Okay.
So I think people are seeing it as, you know, a huge exposure opportunity to sort of bypass the domestic level and move on to fight for titles. I mean, obviously we had Gary Sykes in last week, you know,
unbeaten British champion.
I know, and, you know, people will criticise him for taking part, but he put it on the line and he wanted to get his career moving, you know, and the fact is, I think now you've got the opportunity, if you lose in Prizefighter, to say, hey, it's only Prizefighter, you know, it's only 3 rounds, come on, let's get on to the serious stuff. So, yeah, if you win it, you say, hey, I've just won Prizefighter, give me a European shot, give me a world shot, you know?
Yeah, it's certainly for guys that are sort of treading water, who aren't going to be getting big money European title fights, and are possibly, you may even have to wait for British title fights, it can speed them up the chain. I've got another, so Jim Spain in Tipperary will be happy because you've answered his question about the next prize fighter. Now, Eddie, last week's winner was a fairy tale for Gary Buckland, wasn't it? I mean, no disrespect, he had no right to win, did he, on paper? And he pulled off just 3 fantastic wins.
I mean, once again, the great thing about Prizefighter is you cannot predict what's going to happen. You know, I'm supposed to be on the inside and I've got everything wrong in probably every Prizefighter. Gary Buckland was someone that we didn't even really mention when people were asking me who I fancy to win. I mean, I thought Sykes was very impressive. Choi was just an absolute, you know, warrior and a blessing for the event. The heavyweights one, the last one, was okay, you know, but we really wanted a big event and we wanted to see people put it all on the line, and Buckland was fantastic. You know, dropping down a weight from lightweight, I was with John Murray, and John always said, you know, he's a real tough kid, this guy. You know, but it had everything, like you said, it had the, you know, the knockdowns, it had the brutal knockout of Gary Sykes, the body shot that finished Derry Matthews. Derry Matthews was fantastic throughout. You know, there wasn't anyone who didn't give it 120%, and that's what Prizefighter's all about.
Listen, Ed, I was going to just say good night, but I've got to ask you something. And I'm sorry, Eddie, don't laugh, mate. We're nearly running out of time, and I've just remembered. Take me back. You're in the ring. The bell's about to go. You're in there. You're next to Audley. David's on the other side of the ropes. Did you think something was wrong?
You know, see, I knew you wouldn't let me get away with that.
Sorry about that, Eddie.
That's all right. No, listen, you know, no one's hiding. No one's... Audley said before this fight there'd be no excuses, and there hasn't been any excuses, you know. We always felt that this was going to be a very, very tough fight, but a very good Audley Harrison could cause David Hayes some problems. All I can tell you is that from the inside, the training, the preparation, everything was absolutely 100% spot on. There wasn't one member of the team that didn't believe Audley had a great chance to win the world title. From the dressing room to the walk into the ring to being in the ring, I was there for the whole duration. And at not one point did I not think that this was a great chance for him to produce the goods. He didn't. You know, he was disappointing. He pulled his hands up. You know, he didn't go out there. Audley Harrison needed to change for that fight, and he didn't change. And that was a disappointing thing. You know, I wanted to listen. After 2 rounds, I wasn't totally disappointed with how things were going. Neither fighter had particularly thrown a punch.
No.
Yeah, you know, the crowd were booing. We hoped David would do something erratic, but unfortunately, you know, the first time that he went for Audley, he broke him down with ease. Yeah. And the golfing class showed that Audley wasn't good. He wasn't at his best, and therefore he got beat easy. And unfortunately, in sport and in life, sometimes they're stinkers, and that was a stinker. It was a shame for the sport. But, you know, life goes on, and I can just say, you know, a lot of people won't feel sorry for Audley Harrison, and, you know, they don't have to feel sorry for Audley Harrison. He'll take it on the chin.
Sure.
But You know, there's no one more gutted than Audley Harrison flying back to America, knowing that his golden chance, the one that we manufactured really out of nowhere, is gone. And, who knows what will happen. I know Audley's devastated with the way that he lost that fight, and,
Eddie,
I know he won't want to finish his career like that.
you've just answered my final question. Eddie, listen, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Thanks so much, Eddie. I'll speak to you very soon. That's Eddie Hearn.